Welcome back to Beers and Breakevens, heading into finals week one, a new era of SuperCoach. But first of all, we need to congratulate the one and only Timothy Williams on his inaugural Beers and Breakevens championship. Congratulations, mate.
Thank you, mate. It's sweet. It's been a long time.
2 rings?
2 rings.
Did I lend you some, did I, or what?
Nah, well, I just assumed with the margin that I'd won by this year that we can preemptively expect that I'll knock you off next year. So.
Have a listen to it. Relevant for 4 seconds and wants to get himself geared up for next year. That's believable.
Look, Kat, feel free to stop me short if you think I'm being a bit ahead of the game, but I beat him by 10,000 spots. He's not closing that gap by that far next year. Would you agree?
Look, I just love that it's taken you this many weeks to turn up here and to dish it exactly the way that you've been receiving it for seasons on end. So I think, you know what, if you want to flaunt 2 rings preemptively, do it to me.
I'm just excited to hear your voice for the first time, mate.
Yeah, well, look, we can copy paste it next year for the end of season video, Kat. We'll save you time as well. So I'm thinking of you.
We'll pre-record.
Hey, you know what? Please timestamp this, okay? Let's keep this because this might be more valuable to me next year than you. Just
I might be able to knock you off by 20,000 spots next year, mate. Got the couple of SuperCoach Championship rings, bit of bling on the finger to celebrate.
Show us those rings. Give us a good look.
They're fresh. They're very fresh.
They are nice.
Thank you.
Well done, mate.
Thanks.
Well done.
I tell you what, in the early days when you beat me, I was like, even probably the first 2 years, I was like, you know what, for the good of the show, I was coming in as the big SuperCoach guy and all that, and we had a bit of a laugh. By the time I got to year 3 and hearing you, Karen, I was like, I have to win this thing.
Yeah, 4 would have,
4 would have been like, I can't do this show with you anymore territory.
Yeah. It squares. It helps me sleep at night knowing that I've got a 2-year buffer. That until then I can still carry on. But you're only as good as your last game, unfortunately.
Very humble, mate.
Yeah, so we need to do better.
By your standards.
By my standards. Hey, I'm an asshole winner, but I'm a good loser. I am a good loser. Done a lot of it over my time. Now, Lontel, obviously on board for season 2025, will continue into finals as well. There's a link down below in the description if you would like to go and check them out. The fastest internet we've ever experienced over here. Bloke's got it. Timmy's got it. Guru's got it. We are flying. So make sure you go check out Lontel. We've also got Blue Wealth Property, obviously back for another season. It's been a fantastic couple of years with Blue Wealth. They obviously had their huge event last night where T-Rex unveiled his property of properties last night. It's an unreal little event they had on there. If you are keen to get some more education via Blue Wealth Property, we've got the discovery calls. The details are down below in the description. Or if you just want to email, beers@bluewealth.com.au. We'll come back to Blue Wealth a little bit later in the show when we have got the overall winner. But we just want to give you guys a little reminder as well as far as the jerseys go. They are taking a little bit longer than what we'd like. We're not stoked with how it's played out, but we are expecting to have them in mine and Timmy's paws just after grand final in that next week, and then we'll get them straight out to you guys. So I'd say early October to mid-October you will have those in your hands. We do apologise. We obviously said it was a pre-sale. I think a few people have missed that, but it has taken longer than what we thought it would, which has been a little bit frustrating and disappointing, but we will have it to you guys ASAP. We'll keep you updated, but mid-October, I think by October 17, I'm looking at the calendar, I think that's worst case scenario to get them in your paws.
Disappointed at the delay, mate. As you said, out of our hands, Roo, as a lot of these sort of things are. They will be worth the wait.
They are worth the wait. They are
good.
Absolute crackers. First year we're ever doing them. So they are on their way. Do not stress, guys. Obviously got a few emails from you guys over the last week or two, just getting around to getting back to all those. But they are still incoming. So stay tuned for that. Our scores, I mean, let's just, where did we finish up this year, Timbo? Where'd your rank actually finish?
560th overall.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so we were sort of chatting. You getting excited.
Did you go up much over the week?
I went up 93 spots.
Oh, okay.
So, you were messaging me, very excited for me, which I do appreciate, mate. Mid-weekend.
I thought you were going to fly up.
I was off to a flyer, and then I think it was Saturday night, didn't treat me over well. I had a really good start to the round with Teddy, Walsh, and then I had the Cleary captain, which I thought every man and his dog would have done, but because the likes of Tedesco and Walsh went so well and a lot of people VC looped, it meant that Cleary, I think, only ended up at 20-odd% captaincy. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, here we go. And then, the Saturday night games, I had a few doggies in my team, like Kick Out, Bailey Hayward got a run for me. And there were a couple of others there who just didn't fire. So it's still a good week. I saw some green. But, ended up 560th overall. So can't complain.
Good season, mate. Very well done. My rank ended up 10,342. Didn't break into the 10,000, which is very, very disappointing. I don't think it's. Oh, actually, it must have been the first time I've been outside the 10,000.
100%.
But you broke into the 10,000 within the season, right?
Oh, yeah, at some point.
Yeah.
But no one gives a fuck where you are in round 17.
Well, I care.
It's about where you finish. And unfortunately, outside the 10,000, we will be needing a big bounce back. I think that part of this season, if I'm honest, has just been that you crushed my soul about 6 weeks ago.
At least
You really fucking put the boot into me, and I was just a defeated man. How'd you go, mate? Where'd you finish?
I was just going to say I'm sad that we haven't seen the hat for a second time.
Yeah.
Iconic.
Where is that hat?
It's at home.
At home?
Yeah. Well, I had...
It has a room to
Moved
itself.
into an apartment next door.
I had grand plans of coming today with a horse head on, a horse mask to replicate the stallions. And look, to save a long, boring story, this shot was out of horse heads. So no hat, no horse head. We move on.
Can't win them all.
I was also concerned that it was going to look a bit like a Bronco, and it was a bad week for that.
Yeah, I would not have enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Not even a little bit. Now, we have got our overall winner for Beers and Breakevens this season. Did you say your rank? Where'd you
No,
finish?
I was going to say, well, I had a decent score to finish off the season. Not that anybody cares, but 1682 moved up.
Jeez.
Yeah, I was in the top 3% this week. Overall, I finished 31,000.
Much like the Eels.
Which last year I think I finished 28. So not a lot better, but not a lot worse.
Improvement. Much like the Eels, you're coming into 2026 hot. You're coming into
I'm so ready.
SuperCoach Finals hot, to be fair. You're in form.
I actually think I'm a real contender for finals.
And you can't save trades in SuperCoach Finals. So
Yes.
that's going to benefit
Much
you a
like the Parramatta Eels, led by a Lebanese icon as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Two of the greats.
Well, speaking of the Parramatta Eels, I've got Josh Adokar in my last week. And he
Yeah, big
absolutely
trade-in.
had a blinder. So
Huge move.
yeah, I just, you know what, I've finished this year on such a high that I'm just like, let's go next year. Let's just go.
Yeah, you're ready.
No, I'm joking. I need a rest.
But in all seriousness, I need a break.
Now, our winner of just the week itself was Michael, hung like a horse. Shout out to you. 1,953. Send us an email, mate. We're going to get those footballs out to you guys this week. Send them in one bulk send out for you guys. So shout out to you, Michael. beersandbreakevens@gmail.com. And our winner overall, $5,000 courtesy of Blue Wealth Property. Once again, the coach was Adam of They Killed Keeney. He's been up and about for a while now.
Isn't that just SuperCoach and even Beers and Breakevens poetry?
Yeah.
That they killed Kinney. The bloke who killed your
Keeney
draft
killed me.
season.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
You couldn't write that.
Yeah, well, we did. We
It was
fucking
written.
did, I'll tell you that much
Yeah.
for free. But shout out to you, Adam. Very good to see. Shout out to the guys in the top 5 in this comp. Toby, the coach of the Stone Cutters, which was good to see. Crystal up there, Craig right up there, and Luke as well. So shout out to you, Adam. Congratulations, mate. Send us an email. Reach out to us on socials. Do something, and we'll get you hooked up with Blue Wealth Property to get that sorted. Now, is there anything else we need to go through before we get into what finals looks like?
I think we're good, mate.
I think we're good. I'm going to hand over now to Timmy just to explain. Obviously, we're entering into a new era. It's like when you go over to the other Jurassic Park world and you explore the new island. There's new rules, new stuff going on. Take us away, Timbo. What does it look like?
It's very different and it's exciting because we want a bit of a freshener. We've had 27 rounds of SuperCoach. It's a bit of a change. It's a lot simpler. I wouldn't say less headaches, but a lot simpler. So basically what it is, mate, each week, naturally with, teams dropping in and out of finals, you pick 8 players in your team, 1 from each position and 1 flex player, which of course can be from any position in the game. There's been a few little positional updates. Some people have lost duels, some people have been added duels. We'll get to that shortly. The big one, your captain is a ×3 multiplier. Your vice captain is a ×2 multiplier.
Wow.
Which when you've got 7 scoring players, bit of quick math, 5/7 of your team will essentially come from 2 players.
Wow.
Do not get your skippers wrong because they'll make or break. The other one there, and I had a bit of a think about it, if either your captain or your vice captain is one of your lowest, is your 8th scorer, lowest scorer, you won't get one of those 2 massive multipliers. So, because there's no, and plus there's no AEs to come in or any of that.
Sorry, forgive me. I'm processing. Say that again.
So, because you pick a VC and a C, and they both multiply regardless. If your lowest score is your VC or your C, they're just going to drop out and you're going to miss your VC or your C. And it's worth heaps. Imagine if your captain's your lowest scorer and you don't get the times 3.
Yeah, so if you get like a sin bin or a send-off or a HIA or an injury, thanks for coming.
Yeah, get your captains wrong, you're gone.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, you're a lunatic.
Don't even get a second chance. Fuck that. Let's put it all the chips in the middle. Bit of luck needs to fall your way, sure. Welcome to fantasy sports. Welcome to life. I'm super excited. I fucking love it. I'm all for it. Anything else you want to add in there, mate?
So, no trades or anything. It's you pick a team each week. It completely resets for that following week. You can only have in week 1 of finals a maximum of 2 players per team, which is great. I think week 2 and 3 of finals a maximum of 3 players per team, and grand final week a maximum of 4 players per team. So, look, we can touch on things as we go, but they're the major ones, mate. 1 player, each position, plus a flex. Rip into it.
Now, I think it is going to be interesting to see. I think the assumption is that a lot of teams are going to look very similar, and I think in some spots they would, but this won't shock anyone at home. I'm going to go pretty rogue in a few spots. I'm going to take some big swings.
So the other thing is there's no player prices.
Yes.
So you can essentially pick the top 8 averaging players, or the top averaging player in each position. And that's where I think there will be a lot of teams that are very similar. But if you change 1 player in your team, let's say you don't start with Nathan Cleary and you go Nico Hyde to someone, that can change the order of the rest of your side.
Yeah.
So and I suspect that the winner of SuperCoach Finals will go a bit rogue. Like, you can win SuperCoach overall and follow the crowd and be a bit conservative. I think it's going to be the person that doesn't start Cleary and doesn't start Payne Haas, and one of those 2, might get a head knock and drop out. Someone's got another bloke as captain and they just saw, I reckon that's how it's going to play out.
The best thing is about this, obviously, we're starting this week, and when you look at the matchups in the NRL, I mean, the biggest outsider is $3.60, the Warriors playing at home. It's going to be unreal.
There are so many options.
Yeah. It's going to be cracker. Now, we're going to go through game by game and talk about the players that stand out to us. So we are going to kick off on Friday night. Obviously, no Thursday night footy. Jeez, I'm going to miss that when I get to Thursday night. Friday night, we've got the Storm and the Bulldogs going head-to-head. As far as changes in this game, obviously the Melbourne Storm, Jerome Hughes, Pappy, Nelson out. Wishy at the moment has won the race to jersey 7. I'm interested to see if there's maybe a late change there, but we will see. You've got Jack Howard sitting on the bench there. Bulldogs, obviously the extended bench is probably the big talking point. Kiraz and Harry Hayes sitting there. The wingers have changed. Everything's going on there. You guys can have a look at the team list. Who jumps out to you here, mate, when you first eyeball this game?
It's probably the game I don't want to touch the most. I think it'll be low scoring. The Doggies have the best defence in the NRL. And we still obviously need to see, as you said, a few potential ins and outs. The meaning at fullback for now. Fa'alonga is someone who I'd be like, it's high risk, high reward, but he'd be someone who'd be available at CT dub as a potential play if he were to start and play fullback. So he's one that sort of come to mind. But that's the thing. I think there are matchups that I will favour for high scoring spine players and CT dubs. But then there are games like this where I'm like, all right, I think there's going to be a lot of ball in play. I think it'll be very defence oriented, and a few forwards might come into play. So I've wanted the last sort of 6 to 8 weeks to have a little Stephen Crichton in that hybrid role.
Yep.
I wouldn't mind throwing a bit of a wild card there. Who catches your eye?
I've got Stephen Crichton in my side. I like the look of him. Mate, the closer I get to this weekend, I kind of like Canterbury.
You just sent something brewing.
I just feel like something is going on there. I was saying to Kat before, we did a show before we went through the Clive Churchill medal odds. Jerome Hughes getting ruled out means that every single player from the Melbourne Storm went out $5 to $7 on the Clive Churchill odds. I don't know. I just feel the Kiraz back, Harry Hayes back off the bench, think that's big. I don't know. They got so close to him a few weeks ago. I
also
reckon
feel
they
like-
give him a real shake.
I also feel like all the pressure's on Melbourne, right? Like, especially
Fucking
being
right.
down there. Like, the Dogs are going down there. So many people have written them off as is. They'd be like, perfect, that's what we want.
Like, Melbourne haven't played a good game of footy in 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, I saw Sowie talking on your podcast a week or so ago and just saying defence wins premierships and the Doggies have got it.
Yep, 100%. So I don't mind Critter. I think the other one for me, mate, I think Harry Grant's hard to go past. Obviously, with Jerome Hughes out of this one, there are other hooker options you can go, but I think Harry Grant is the best of them. So I'm probably leaning towards having Grant in my side.
I think the hooker spot, I reckon. I think it's a racing two. I think it's him or Blake Brayley.
Yep, fair.
I'm Harry Grant's biggest fan when it comes to Supercoach and NRL for that matter, but the Doggies' defence concerns me. Like,
Yep.
could easily be a game where he doesn't drag any attack and scores 40. Then again, it's also a finals game with a lot of ball in play. He'll probably make 50 tackles. Yeah. I'm tossing between them two. I'm leaning to Blake Brayley at this stage for the matchup. We'll get to that shortly and why that is. Jacob Kiraz, arguably the best CT dub in Supercoach. Pretty close. Probably the best CT dub in Supercoach Finals. If he comes in, starts on the wing, what's your thoughts there?
I'm not super keen. He's just returned very early from that injury. As you said, it probably will be a low-scoring game. I'm probably not one I'm eyeing off. If he was a few weeks back, that moves the needle for me. First game back,
I agree.
I don't know.
Yeah, and it's the beauty of it, or not the beauty of it, like there's a chance. It's hard because we don't have any player ownerships at the moment.
Yes.
So you're sort of going on what you think people will do. But like this, for a 1 week swing, it's like, player ownerships are everything. I need to know what people got. But I do think you can have a relatively educated guess at who people are going to flock to in positions. And I don't think Kiraz will be super high, but I think he'll be high enough just because of his pedigree. But I'm with you, mate. And he'll be coming up, assuming he were to play outside Stephen Crichton. He'd be on the right, so he'd come against the Storm's left, which is their better defensive edge. He's an avoid for me too.
Just Stephen Crichton roaming a little bit, does that turn you off him a little bit more or not really? Does that not impact you too much?
Well, not a heap, because when he does, he's a better ball playing fullback than Connor Tracy is.
Yep.
And we've seen it over the last month or so. And what he's been able to do with that short and long passing game, I think it could potentially actually help him.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, fair. Yeah, as I said, if he was he was back from injury 2 or 3 weeks, he'd be right up there for me. But yeah, I'm not as keen. You mentioned there we're just sort of guessing what ownerships are going to look like and whatnot. Harry Grant, Blake Brayley, gun to your head. Who do you think's going to be more higher owned?
Oh, shit. Probably Harry Grant.
Just off name?
Yeah.
Yeah. I will probably go whichever hooker. So will we have any idea of ownerships before it starts or not?
I suspect not.
You assume not, right?
I feel like we would have had him by now if so.
Yeah, that's fair. That'll be a really interesting conversation. Mate, the only other one that I was kind of eyeballing as just one of my wild cards this weekend, just because, I don't know, I've just got a feeling something's going to happen. And, we caught up with Stephen Crichton yesterday, and the way he spoke about Galvin, I would just love, and maybe it's just me being a little bit biased, I would just love to see Galvin come out and just have 100 run meters, take them on all fucking night. I don't know. I can just see Galvin having a game here. I don't mind him as a little pod player at 5'8".
The 5'8" position is going to be wide open. I suspect Cameron Munster will probably be the most owned on pedigree. But again, coming up against the Doggies, best defence in the NRL, Munster's a big game player. We know that he'll be up for it. But, new halves partner, a few different combinations, a few little concerns around the Storm. Initially, in my side, I've sort of got Munster sitting there, but the longer the week goes on, I'm going to get colder there, and I think I'm going to take a bit of a flyer.
I've got Galvin at 6 now. I'm taking a little flyer on him as it stands. Anyone else you want to touch on from that game, mate, that's caught your eye?
The only other one would be Elias Katoa, give or take the best back row in Supercoach at the moment, him and or Hudson Young. He's another one where I'm not going to knock anyone going for him, but I'm going to take some calculated risks, I should say. And as good as Elias Katoa is, he loses his partner in crime there in Jerome Hughes, and I just think I'm going to attack some better matchups in the back row. I think I'm going to go against him, and I think he'll probably be the most owned.
Yeah, there's a couple of Raiders back rowers I'm sort of eyeballing at the moment. Kickow, Preston, any interest there?
Not really, no.
Okay, let me ask you this, and this is more of a tactical for this weekend. If I, for example, am going Lockie Galvin, do you think I might as well match him up with a back rower? Do you take a little stack there, or do you not think that's going to be as important?
You know, you mentioned with the captain sort of stuff, it's not – there's no long-term planning or this. It's just all in, right?
Yep.
You go all in on your stack, and if Galvin – puts Preston through, you bang, let's go.
You lean into it?
I think it makes sense, right?
Yeah. Oh, obviously, this is a bit more like draft than other.
Yeah.
And that, like, I love my stats in that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's one that I will seriously consider. Anything else from that game, mate?
No, all good, mate.
All right, let's move on to Super Saturday, Warriors. Panthers, this one's at 4:05 p.m. Obviously, for the Warriors, you got Jackson Ford returning in the front row, as does Wade Egan. For the Panthers, Brian Toto returns, Liam Martin returns. Luke Summerton at hooker with Mitch Kenny out. That's a really interesting one. I wasn't aware that Mitch Kenny was in doubt or anything like that. That's a bit of a needle mover. What stands out to you immediately here, mate? I imagine the halfback jumps off the page of the not Tanner Boyd variety.
Do you just lock Cleary in?
Skipper?
Well,
he's definitely locked into my side, yes. Yeah. I think you have to.
There's genuine alternatives in Nicho Hines, in Sam Walker, but I just think you're playing with a little bit of fire early on, especially if you don't own it. Like, on paper, and if you look at the odds, this is the biggest outsider game and the biggest favouritism of the round is the Panthers. Most people are thinking Penrith go over there and do a job on the Warriors. I don't think it'll be that easy, but again, on paper, they probably are. If they do put a bit of a score on them, Cleary will be in the thick of everything. A lot will have him for the triple captaincy. You know, if he does tee off, it could nearly be your finals gone before it starts, right?
I think if one game was to be a blowout, I think this is the game that's the most chance, personally. So, yeah, I think I will probably captain Cleary. I want to go a bit different, and I think in coming weeks I will, but I think this week I'm just going to take Cleary.
Yeah.
I'm leaning towards that.
I think you don't have to pick him, but I think you're playing with fire by not.
Yeah, I agree with you. And this is where the beauty of it, you know, if something does happen to Cleary, he gets an injury, a HIA or something, and you don't have him, you skyrocket.
Yeah.
I will just say this. As I said, we're at the captain's thing yesterday. Cleary is so relaxed and comfortable. It was one thing I don't know if you felt the same.
Yeah.
Like, all the guys were fine. Like, no one was, like, clamped up or anything, but Cleary is just, he just has that look in your eye where you're like, fuck.
Terrifyingly calm.
Yeah, terrifyingly calm. He's ready to go.
That's the point, mate. Let's say you go Cleary and, God forbid, but let's say there's a HA and he gets 10 or 20 or whatever. He wouldn't even be skipper. He'd drop out. But even if the Warriors defend him well and he scores 40, 50 even, and, it might be 80% have him as captain for the triple, and then you've gone Nicho Hines or Sam Walker who put 130 on and you've captained them.
Yeah.
Try and catch me. And then if you pull that off, you can then play conservative for the rest of this final series because you'll be right up there.
That's true. Yeah. Let's talk Warriors, mate. I imagine that your Fisher Harrises, your Aaron Clarks of the world are probably in for good games. The only one that I'm looking at, well, two that I could look at and maybe consider, your boy, Roger, obviously been going really well. Just not sure how many tries they score. Lecker's the wild card for me.
Friggin' oath he is.
If he starts, which he should by the sounds of it. I'm not ruling out a world where Torpicki maybe plays fullback and maybe Chance moves to the centres, but I don't think Webby will play silly buggers this week. I think he'll go for the safe hand in Chance at fullback.
Lecker will play left edge. Niakora always plays right when he plays back row,
so.
Yeah. Left, so he runs it Cleary. Oh, if it was Lecker at Blaze, I would say sign me up.
Yes.
Cleary's not bad, but it's not good.
Yeah, you'd rather be going to Blaze, for sure.
I'll throw a sneaky little pot at you. Chance Nickel Klukstad. He's been given dual. So he's dual seated up fullback. He got through 2 weeks ago. He got through 55 in base.
Yep.
He scored base alone. Obviously, he scored 90 odd in the last game on the weekend. I get the Panthers matchup and all that, but a finals game at home, I can see him having 28 runs if he can jag one bit of attack. Wouldn't put him anywhere near the best fullbacks, but it's CT Dub where there's not a lot of standouts this week. I think he's a cheeky one.
Yep, I don't mind that. The dual position is a real needle mover there. That one attacking stat, I'm I'm just
Does he
not
get it?
confident if it comes, to
Yeah.
be honest with you. But yeah, not a bad play. The duel obviously makes a huge difference. Let's move to the Panthers. Mate, one guy that's caught my attention almost immediately that I'm interested in, I just don't know which wing he'll be on, is Brian To'o.
I agree.
Coming off a 2-week spell, he's going to be ready to rock and roll. To'o, best winger in rugby league. And I think people have sort of not forgotten it, but I just feel like he hasn't got much attention over the last few weeks. It's all been about Coates, Nwangani, Tuase, Tupu, all these guys. AJ obviously leading the try scorer. I just think To'o, as per usual, remind everyone in the next few weeks who's the best winger in rugby league. I like him. I don't know which wing he's going to play. Between you and me, I don't overly care though.
I don't think it really matters because, I thought Tommy Jenkins was hard done by, but Paul Alamotti comes in, who's been playing on the right and has played most of his footy on the right for the Panthers in the NRL. And then To'o, who had been playing right all season, I would imagine he probably goes over left and Alamotti plays right. If he plays left, that's the Panthers' dominant attacking edge this year, which is mind-blowing, but it is. And if he's on the right, it's the dominant edge of Cleary and Dylan Edwards. So I'm with you. I don't think it really matters. And I'll tell you the other thing. He's currently at, it's a little thing, but you have to, because he's missed a lot of games this year. It hasn't been at his best Supercoach-wise.
You have to scroll a long way.
I was looking for
I thought they left him out.
So did I. Well, he's at the 32nd pick and people have short attention spans.
Yep.
A lot of people won't scroll that far.
Mate, I almost gave up. I had to type it in to find him.
That helps. So
Yeah.
To's in my team at CTW at the moment.
It's pretty cool how however you want to look at it, but like they get to crunch time and Scott Sorensen goes back to the left edge, Liam Martin on the right, Garner off the bench, Alamotti back into the side. It's like he just puts up the bat signal, Ivan Cleary, get the crew back together.
Yeah.
What about Casey McLean as a little CTW play there? He's been flying the last few weeks.
I like it. Can't stop scoring tries. If I'm going to go an outside back at the Panthers, it's Brian To'o.
Yep. I agree. Any of the middles interest you at all?
None of the forwards do. Blaze Talangi's a cheeky little 5'8" play.
You don't mind him there?
I kind of want to go against Munster, against the Dogs. There's not a lot of standouts. Just bloody good footballer.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, if you are going to take a little punt on Blaze, if you're looking down that avenue, I believe that'll be the Tanner Boyd defending edge on the right.
Yeah.
Schnell's left. I don't mind Scotty Sorensen on that edge too. The only concern is if Garner plays big minutes. I like Sorensen the only concern is if Garner maybe takes minutes off him.
On the edge.
But I like that matchup for Scotty Sorensen.
Yeah.
I think they'll be looking to isolate Tanner.
Yeah.
Good little try scorer this week. Anyone else in that game you want to touch on?
No, good mate.
No one in the extended worth noting there either. Let's move to the only other one that I would mention, and similar to the path you went down before, mate. If Torpiki does come in and play fullback, I assume he'll be dual position as well.
Yeah.
Could be a little CTW play, maybe playing fullback.
I don't mind that, yeah.
But yeah, I think I'll be looking elsewhere. Late game Saturday night, Sharks Roosters 7:50 p.m. The big news this week: Nico Hines obviously been cleared to play. Braden Trindle, he returns at 5'8". And Britt Nikota, he's on the extended. We assume he will line up on the right edge and play 80 minutes. Who stands out to you from this Sharky side, mate?
I've said it time and time again, but I struggle with the Sharkies, especially as a 1 week play, because I think you can back most of their backline players and they'll average their 60 to 65 and be very consistent. But SuperCoach Finals, because you're only getting these players 1 week plays, it's finding the best weekly matchups and finding the teams they send all their attack down this edge and they're going at the weak edge of the opposition team, etc. The Sharkies can score anywhere. I find them so hard to predict. Like you and I both do punting podcasts and you're trying to find your try scores and that. I rarely touch the Sharks. I don't know where they're going to score each week. I don't know if Nico's going to spend a bunch of time down the left edge as well and start playing a Mulitala. So for that reason, I don't love any of them outside of Blake Brayley, who he's my probably man for hooker. As I said, I'm all in on Harry Grant all the time and every chance he outscores him, but he's finished the season with a bang and they've been very poor defending through the middle this season, the Roosters. They've conceded the most tries of any team by percentage through the middle of the field. It's about 25% or something, which is huge. So I think I'm going to go Blake Brayley.
You are going to go him at hooker?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. I was just going to say before we move on the Sharkies, if you put a gun to my head, you made me pick an outside back from them. And I think if you're going to go this, I'd be like the stack that I would go for is a Nico, Jesse Ramian going at Billy Smith would be the one if you put a gun to my head and you were going to go against Cleary. You're going to go all in the Sharkies. That's the one I would look at, but I'm not overly keen on it.
Toya shuts down his centre so much, doesn't he?
Yeah,
when you
so
look at Iro,
I think Iro, you just don't.
For that reason, I'm with you.
Yeah, I think if you're going to go one of them, I think it is Ramian. But yeah, I think there's better options around. Let's move to the Chooks. Do we both have the Roosters winning this game?
I do, but by bugger all. I think it'll be tight.
Okay.
Are you semi-confident, are you?
No, I wouldn't say I'm confident. I think the Roosters will win. Once again, gun to my head, I had to pick one. I would say Roosters. But I think the Sharks are in a really interesting spot for the first time since Fitzy's been there. There's no pressure on them. No expectation. No one's talking about it.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. It's like they've fallen ass first into finals and people just don't care all of a sudden. Like we brought it up with Blake Brayley yesterday and he sort of tiptoed around the question. I thought, he's not going to say it. Then he did say, there's no pressure on us at the moment. We're just flying under the radar.
Good place to be.
I think it's a great place to be. I think for them in particular, it's where they've been begging to be for years.
Whereas the Roosters, like they have crept into finals, like in the final game of the season, and there's always pressure on them.
Yep.
The Glamour Club. They've
100%.
got the big names, so yeah.
Yeah. I think the other thing with the Roosters is as well going against them is they've been playing finals footy for a month now.
Yeah.
Trying to get themselves in there. Still, James Tedesco, I find it hard to go past him.
I think you have to.
And I'm probably leaning towards a VC on Teddy.
Yeah. I think even if the Sharks win and the Roosters have a bit of a bludgeon and he doesn't score overly well, I think he'll base and power his way to 50 to 60. You know, if the Roosters do light up in attack, he could easily ton. I just think he's safe as houses, right?
Yeah.
He'll have a stupid amount of runs. He'll bust 10 tackles. Yeah, I'm not going to say a must have, but pretty close to it.
I think as well when you go into, and we'll get to them now, the two wingers, when you go into the CTWs, number one is Nwanga Nitawase, number two is Daniel Tupu. Mark in particular this week worries me a little bit. I don't love the matchup for him.
I don't like either. And we saw for a big stretch there, it's like Sammy Walker's beginning to use his right edge a bit more in Nwanga Nitawase, but I just think we've seen games where he's scored 30s and 40s when Sammy's been there. Quite recently, he loves playing to the left where he spends much of his time. And yeah, again, you've got two quite good defensive edges of the Sharks. I just don't think they're the matchups to target.
Last time the Roosters played the Sharkies, they blew them away early just by kicking exclusively to Tupu, didn't they? I think it was like Hiroti on that wing, maybe.
That's right.
Got a vague memory of that.
You're right. You're spot on. Game of Bath.
I think going back to your point, though, mate, I think finals when it's tight, I think you'll see Sam Walker going back to what works for him, which I think he'll be very left side dominant. So I think Mark at number one on the list, this will probably age terribly. I think he's a little bit of a trap this week.
Yep. No, I'm with you.
If I get to this weekend and he's the highest owned CTW, I'm more than happy to watch.
Put it this way, I'm very much looking at again, educated risks, and I reckon Mark, you'll probably be close to the top owned CT dub. That's a risk I'm happy to take.
Yep, very fair. What about as far as Sammy Walker goes, mate? If I said to you, Cleary, Hines, Walker, how do you order them at halfback, and do you look at one of them as your flex?
You could, for sure. Yeah, especially with the news around Reece Walsh and a potential little calf injury there. So we'll see how that plays out. Probably not a lot in it, but if you wanted to flex the halfback, you could. And I like Cleary's one, probably Nico 2, Sammy 3. There's not much in it though.
Not much in it, yeah.
I feel, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I definitely go Cleary 1 without a doubt. And then, I'm probably leaning slot. Oh, fuck.
It's hard, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a real coin toss for me.
Kat, Nico or Sammy Walker?
I just feel like Sammy Walker, like he's had half a season. He's just got energy that other players don't. And I think this is a time where that will really start to show, like that fatigue. He's just got so much more to give, I think.
I don't know, I'm just excited to see Nico without the weight of the fucking world on his shoulders too.
Yeah, well, there's still a fair bit there.
Oh yeah, mate. Like if it wasn't for that, you know, him getting away from the suspension this week, I don't reckon anyone talks about him. Remember the finals the last 2 years, the amount of pressure on Nico. Like he's almost gone to the 2 last final series as the guy under the most pressure, I reckon, out of anyone. Now it's just So I would probably lean towards Nico and then go Sam Walker, but it's tight. Do you think your flex position, is it just best matchup, or do you think you're looking at a certain position to try and target?
I think there's a huge play to stack some big work rate forwards. I'm not saying I'll do it. Well, finals footy's a different beast. There'll be lower scoring games.
That's
fair. Pressure's on. I think there's safety in a captain a forward who you think will get you 80 sort of plus, or even 70 to 80, where on any of these games, any of these players we've spoken about, Nathan Cleary included, they could come out and get 50 easily. Whereas I know Payne Haas is the exception to the rule, but he's going to come out and score 80 plus. And, you know, you might throw someone like Joe Tarpany in there. Just because it's a new game and I want to have some fun, I'm probably not going to go like a Joe Tarpany in a flex because I want to go the high upside, but I fully get it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Didn't expect you to say that, but it makes sense. What about from the Sydney Roosters? I haven't looked through their forward pack, to be honest with you. Nothing really jumps out at me. There's White and Gus are probably my top 2. Connor, with his minutes, I just couldn't go near him. I think he scored a try last week and scored 60, so I think I have to let Connor Watson go. But White or Angus are probably the only 2 that I'd consider from the forward pack.
Yeah, you could go a little sneaky on like maybe Angus Crichton, but like I've owned him in SuperCoach for the last 6 or 7 weeks, and he's been okay, and he's looking better, but he hasn't been great. Like,
What does he gets the matchup against Nico, doesn't he?
Yeah, which is you know, the one I've actually got currently is my little pod play. I've got Britt Nickera, fresh from suspension, running at Sam Walker, ready to rock. But assuming he comes in, I'd be stunned if he didn't come in, start and play 80. That's what his role is for this team.
How long has he been out for? 2 weeks?
3.
Surely. Surely he has to come in and play 80.
It'd be weird if he didn't.
Yeah, it'd be fucking bizarre.
He's the one that I'm thinking, all right, I don't think anyone will go him. And good matchup running at Sammy Walker. Let's go.
Yeah, we spoke to Blake Brayley yesterday, and I said about Nickera coming back in. He goes, big headache for Billy Slater, for Craig Fitzgibbon between Billy Burns. And I thought, are you Billy Burns' manager, or what the fuck is going on here?
What are you talking
Britain's
about?
a fucking weapon.
Yeah.
So, I think Teddy will make my side out of this game. And I think that might be the only one for me, mate. Nico's the only one I'd probably consider as my flex, but I think I might go in a different direction. Anyone else you want to touch on there, mate?
No, all good, mate.
Okay, let's move to last game of the week, Sunday, 4:05 p.m. We've got the Durs, who are bringing the entire fucking ACT state, territory, whatever it is, back into this side. They're all back in, taking on the Brisbane Broncos. Shibasaki returns, Reece Walsh under a bit of a cloud. First of all, how do you see this game going? What are you expecting here?
I'm excited. Even taking out the Raiders bias of the game, I'll be at it. It's even more exciting. It's just like...
I think it's game of the week for me.
100%.
Yeah, I'm most excited for this game.
And it's meant to be sunny day, dry conditions down in Canberra. The old school grit of Ricky Stewart and the Raiders and the way they play their footy, high completion, all this sort of stuff, versus the electric Broncos and Reece Walsh, and just sort of this spark that we haven't seen in a long time. I think the Raiders' grit in the finals arena will get them home. I think that'll be too tough for the Broncos. That will be too good from through the middle. I think that can at least reduce Reece Walsh's output. That being said, all fullbacks and good attacking players in the spine, in the back line, you need some momentum through the middle. I don't know if Reece Walsh does at the moment, the way he's playing.
Yeah.
I think the Raiders win, but if Brisbane turn up and they put it to us through the middle, which Payne Haas will, we know Pat Carrigan will, and you give Reece Walsh an inch, I don't know if anyone can stop them on their day. What do you reckon?
No, I actually agree with everything you've just said there. My big concern with the Broncos is still, mate, when it's finals footy and you got to hold your hand in the fire for the longest, are they going to be able to stay with a team like the Raiders?
Exactly right.
That's my big concern with the Broncos. I know they're high flying and it's all exciting.
I love that they're high flying.
But like you have a look over the last 5 or 6 weeks, like, you know, they beat Melbourne the other night, which I think is their best win they've had in a few weeks. But, you know, they're conceding 28, 30 points a lot of weeks. I'm just not I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced they can do it for 4 weeks in a row, and I'm not convinced they can go down to Canberra and do it.
Of course, this could age poorly, but no need to sit on the fence. Like, there's a world where they go in there with their tails up and they think we're unbeatable, look how good a footy we're playing, and the Raiders just slap it out of them.
Yeah, for sure. I think as well, you know, back end of the season, you're seeing a lot of high-scoring games. It really suits the Broncos. They're just gunslinger style. You're going to get down to Canberra. That whistle is going to get swallowed. It's going to be a tighter affair. I just think it's all facing Canberra for me.
No, I do too.
On that note, you mentioned Joe Tarpanay before. I don't mind the look of him as my front row forward. I think I'll be taking a front row forward from this game, whether it's Tarpanay or Haas. I'm leaning towards Haas, but something in Tarpanay, I reckon.
I know. It's the other position where I don't know if it's racing too. I just think you have to have Haas, but Taps, he'll play big minutes. He's a warrior. Like, he's set for this one, isn't he? Like, he could definitely score well. I just think any of the other front row forward options, they essentially have to score with a line break to match what Payne Haas will do in base and power. And I just don't think it's a risk worth taking, because then if Payne Haas crashes over for one as well, he's 110, 120. I just don't think it's worth it.
Yeah, I'm going Payne Haas. I think you have to have him in there. Now, is there any thought process to captains, vice captains, going to be tight scoring games? You just chuck a VC or a C on Payne Haas and just take you.
He's locked into one of mine.
Yeah, he is he?
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
I said, like, I think the timing of it all as well, we're coming off the back of NRL SuperCoach, NRL SuperCoach Finals, back end of the season, where every single year there's restings, there's injuries, there's suspensions, there's all this stuff, and you get these 170s and 180s that we've seen for the past month. We're not going to get that in finals. I think people are sitting there going, I need to catch that 180 or the 160. That's not going to happen in finals. If it does, good luck to you, but I just don't think it will. So that's where it almost goes back to round one, right?
Yep.
Where you go, Payne Haas is 80. Shit, yeah. So he'll be one of my, I don't know which one yet. He'll be my VCLC though.
Yep, okay. I like that. On the Raiders, mate, I love both your edges. I'm actually looking at the mule in this one, Zach Hosking. I think he's my little pod player. I reckon he'll crash over for a try this week. I don't know why. I've just got a good feeling. I might move that needle if I see Matty Nicholson join the bench. Do you think he will, or do you think they'll run out as they've named here?
Well, they've got middle.
To be honest with you, even if Nicholson is there, he'll move to the middle. I still don't hate it.
If I think he'll probably play 65 minutes.
Okay, if Nicholson's on the bench.
Either way, because Sungy comes in on the edge and then Hosking goes to the middle, but he will have a spell at some point. But that's not the end of the world. Like, you can still jag a little bit of attack and score 80 to 100. But that'd be my only concern with him. I just think when you know you've got Hudson Young, who will play 80 and the attack will centre around, I like it, but I think Hudson's the better play.
Yeah, I think this is where I'm going to go. This is going to be one of my little punts that I'm going to take. I'm leaning towards Hosking as it stands. Ethan Strange at 6. There's obviously a number of options, but no absolute standout options. I think it is fair to say he is the form option right now. I think it's very hard to go past him as the form option. What's your vibe here?
Well, I think in terms of the backline players from both sides, I think there'll be points in this game.
Yep.
A fair few of them. Well, not necessarily a fair few of them, but I think like dry conditions, the style of footy that they both play, in particular the Broncos, I think it's probably the one to target for these CT dubs and fullback, maybe not fullbacks, but, Reece Walsh. Ethan Strange, I'm too scared of him just because of how low he can go and has gone low so many times. But I said he's the informed 5'8" in the competition. So he gets conditions. Who knows what sort of Broncos outfit will turn up. I don't mind it, but I won't have him.
Any interest in a Weeks to Marley?
I don't mind Matty Timoko. Okay. So the interesting one in this one, the Raiders' weak defensive edge of the Timoko edge comes up against the weaker edge of the Broncos, which is the left edge. So Shibasaki, Karapani, that one out there. Yep. So I think that's probably the one. So I think you could take a little flyer on Shibasaki. He's going to have a huge point to prove off the back of the spell. So Shibasaki's a play, a bit wild, but like Karapani's a play the way Reece Walsh is playing. But yeah, I don't mind Matty Timoko going at that the weaker edge.
All right, let's rip the Band-Aid off. Reece Walsh left training early today. Calf scare. I don't know if it's anything more than that as it stands right now. I'm hoping we'll know more about it in the next 24 hours. Hopefully by the time you guys are listening to this, you'll have a better idea. I can just see a world where we get no answers all week. You've got to make a decision on Sunday. It's the last game of the week, whether you're going to run with Reece Walsh or not. You might end up in a situation where he gets cut late. You end up with a KO weeks. I also think, mate, that if you're a true believer in the Broncos out there, everyone's going to be scared off Reece Walsh. If we're sitting here next week going, well, Reece Walsh captaincy is the play. We're all too big of cowards to do it, and these 3% of lunatics did it. Credit to you. Might be something there.
Yeah, I think it's as simple as with Reece Walsh, the form's undeniable. So if he gets through captain's run on Friday and there's no issue there, if he trains in captain's run, I'm probably just picking him. And I saw a quote that apparently after he did it, he was off a bit and he went and did some kicking.
He went for a nudge. That says to me.
That made me think he's fine.
Yeah.
Right? So, I think provided the news is all right and he gets through captain's run, I think you just got to have him, don't you?
If he's all sweet and he's good to go, what fullback percentage ownership do you think he'll be this weekend?
Well, it's him and Teddy, right? So I'm thinking, thinking of flexing. So let's say you double flex at halfback. Like, I'd probably take, off the back of this news.
Yep.
Again, I think it's going to change too much, but I'd still nearly take Teddy over him. Guess what Walsh got? I know this is a long time ago.
You take Teddy over Walsh?
I think so.
I would.
Yeah.
Yep.
Guess what Walsh got against the Raiders in round 2 in Canberra?
What?
9 in 80 minutes.
Yeah, wow.
Not that that's going to happen again, but still, like it's...
What about Edwards Walsh? Is it Walsh for you, obviously?
Yeah, it's Walsh.
Okay.
There's a huge flyer on Walsh, though. Edwards.
Edwards, yeah.
Because he had a bludger last week. Supercoaches have short memories.
Yeah.
Again, they get, in theory, the best matchup of the week if it plays out as we think. There's a massive play on Edwards because everyone's going to go to Teddy and Walsh. You could go Edwards for sure.
All right, other Broncos. We've already spoken about Payne Haas. I think he'll get a feature in both of our sides. Is there anyone else you want to throw in there, mate?
Nah, not really, mate. I wouldn't touch any of the other forwards. Sort of spoken. You could take a flyer on like a Shibasaki, but Walsh is the one. Karapani's the high upside sort of potential play, but Haas and Walsh for me.
All right, do we want to finish off just by going through our sides as we've got them right now?
Subject to heaps of change.
Oh, subject to fucking heaps. So stay tuned, SC Playbook, Roo Crew. We'll update you as the week goes because a lot could change here. Hooker for me right now, I've got Harry Grant.
Blake Brayley.
Front row for me, I've got Payne Haas.
Payne Haas captain.
Captain, yeah. Okay, I've got Payne Haas as a VC right now, but I haven't really settled on my captains, to be honest with you. Second row forward, I've got Zach Hosking in there, my little play.
Yeah, my little play is Britton Nickera, and when I said subject to change, that's the one, but I just want to chase a blow. He's got a good match. I'm all in on matchups, and I like him at Sammy Walker.
Yep, very fair. Halfback, I've got Nath Cleary in at the moment. I've got the C on him.
I've got a VC Nath.
And a C on Haas.
Yeah.
Okay. 5'8", I've got Lockie Galvin there as it stands. What do you got?
I've got Cam Munster. I reckon the longer the week goes, I reckon he'll be gone.
CTW, I've got Brian Toto there at the moment.
Me too.
Both got Toto?
Yeah.
That's wild.
So do I, by the way.
Do you
You got
really?
Toto as well?
I have Brian Toto.
Far out.
Fullback at the moment, I have got James Tedesco.
Yeah.
And then my flex at the moment, I said it earlier in the show, I don't know, I've just got a feeling Critter has a good game this weekend.
No Walsh.
Mate, I'm not convinced the I think the Raiders are going to defend really well against them. I think the Raiders are getting to that point where I think they've had 2 weeks to prepare for this game. I just think Ricky's will be, let's take away their strike weapon and see if they can beat us other ways. So I'm not as high on him. But that could, that flex play could end up being fucking anyone for me. I've just got a vibe about Critter, but I don't know if there's
You're just a bit starstruck.
I might have been a bit. We spoke to him yesterday. I don't know. I just feel like the Bulldogs have been waiting for finals, and we know what he's like in big games against Melbourne.
You're just going to get sucked in by the NRL talent. You're 8 blokes going to be the 8 blokes you interviewed yesterday.
There's a few of them in there, to be fair.
You're going to start with Mitch Barnett.
There's 4 of them in there. Half of them are in there. That's pretty fucked, actually.
That's funny.
It's a very valid point. Yeah, I will have a look at my flex and maybe move that around a little bit. Actually, yeah, I mean, now that you mention it, if I'm not overly keen on Walsh, maybe Edwards could be my little play.
I love it. Yeah.
Probably me. So if I go Edwards, it means that I would have to either brush or Cleary though, wouldn't it? I can't go.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So then I might have to go with a different CTW as well.
I said one change can change a whole squad.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Plenty of dominoes to fall there. Anything else you want to touch on, mate?
Pretty good, mate, I reckon.
Pretty good. Yep. As we said, stay tuned. We'll have our updated squads at the end of the week in SC Playbook.
Yep, it'll be out there.
I'll be in the Roo Crew. If you want to have a look at them a little bit later in the week, take some punts, take some risks. It's a 4-week competition, guys. Obviously, no salary cap. Everything that Timmy mentioned before. He's holding that thing, and it kills me. It absolutely breaks my fucking heart. My precious kind of stuff over there, which ruins me.
Can't wait to sleep with it for the next 365 days.
Good. And another little special shout out. I wasn't on Bloke yesterday, so I didn't get to enjoy the festivities. But shout out to Matty the Waterboy.
Yes.
Our jersey 14.
Our little water boy's grown up.
Our little water boy's grown up, and commiserations to Courtney.
Yes.
Tough going.
If you haven't put 2 and 2 together, he got engaged.
Yes. His phone line wasn't busy, Kat. He's got a fiance now.
Yeah. No, when he walked in, he just had a big grin on his face. He's on a high. It's
Looks
really
a bit like
nice.
Luna Park at the moment, Matty the
Yeah.
Water Boy. All right. That us?
All done.
Thanks for joining us once again, guys. Shout out to Lontel and Blue Wealth Property doing great things as always in your jerseys. Early to mid-October, they'll be arriving in your paws. Well worth the wait. We do apologise for that, and we appreciate your patience as always. We'll see you this time next week. No late show, just this show for Biz and Breakevens for the next 4 weeks. We'll see you this time next week. Cheers, guys.